Hello everyone, and Belix, it is officially 10:41 in the morning as of recording this. I gave you guys a community post telling you to give me your criticism of Naruto, your opinions about the series as an honest opinion, and anything you have hatred towards the series, because I feel like there needs to be more awareness of opinions that don't really, get answered in the Naruto community, which I want to be that guy. And you guys gave me a lot of things, more than I thought, and some of them are a book to read. So I guess we'll get things started. Neji and Rock Lee are the most wasted characters. Every side character got moments before the war arc or during the war arc, but both of them got wasted. They didn't face any Akatsuki members, weren't present when Pain attacked the village, when even characters like Kiba and Shino fought other Pains and Konan, notable reanimated ninja in the war. I actually agree. I don't know what Kishimoto was thinking at the time, but the Warwick was a perfect opportunity to give Rock Lee, like, all the side characters that got their mini shine to shine against the Ten Tails mini creatures. Rock Lee, for some reason, just was not there. And I've seen different opinions, Kishimoto talking about Rock Lee and Neji, that they were wasted because he was being controlled, and he said that certain things were being the way they were because of how it's a business and how he's like being controlled behind the scenes. And then there was another interview that's saying that he just forgot about Lee and he didn't think much about him. And I don't know. The thing about interviews, you can't really tell what is true and what isn't true sometimes. So I'm just telling you of what I heard or read. Anime's Ball Deep covered a really good Kishimoto interview about 2 years ago, and that's where I got my information about the side characters. That he said that it was a business and he was being controlled beyond the scenes of how things should be written in Naruto. And that's such a shame, because I think Shonen Jump needs to understand that side characters do matter more than main characters, a lot in my opinion. And yeah, it's just a shame that they never really got the shine, because they had so much fucking potential in the original series. So I definitely agree, and they should have gotten a lot of screen time with the White Zetsus or something like that. Rock Lee versus Kakazu, Akiba versus Sasori or Deidara, along with Shikamaru or Gaara or something like that. But it just was not there. Alright, moving on to the next one. Side characters should have gone one more fight, even if they have to team up together, like, let's say, Team Kurenai versus Deidara, or Team Guy versus Orochimaru. Kishimoto obsession with the Uchiha Sharingan. Oh yeah, I definitely agree on that. Team 8 had a lot of potential from the original series. Team 8 and Team 10 had the most potential because, Shikacho was like very trained of their clan and how they were able to work together with strategy and material. Team 8 had a lot of potential because Kiba has a very strong sensitive of smell. Hinata can see things from a long distance. Shino, Shino won every fight that he's ever been with, even in the filler fights, I believe. They had so much potential to do so much shit, and it just was not there. I would have loved to see a Shino versus Deidara, or a Shino versus Sasori, or Hinata versus Sasori, along with someone helping her, because she's not that strong. But there was so much in Naruto that should have been, and it was not there. And there were these characters meant the world to people in the original series. They were very emotional to bond with, easily to connect with and love, and you want to see that character grow, and it just was not there. And it really hurts sometimes when you go back to Shippuden. You're like, there's so much that could have been written better, like much better, and we won't ever see that material from part 1 again, where all the characters mattered, had side stories to tell, their own character arcs. Even if a 1 or 2 fight, like Shino versus Kankuro, it didn't matter in that moment. And it just, everything else in Shippuden, it's just like, it just was not there. And I don't think we're ever going to get that material back. That's why I'm saying part 1 is a masterpiece for what it was, because side characters got their screen time. Everyone had a reason to exist in the show. In Shippuden, they're just there, not doing anything. And it's so fucking aggravating. So I'm definitely with you on that. Team 8 versus Data or Sasori would have been hella interesting. Really interesting. I don't think they would win, but they're definitely going to leave a scratch on Data or Sasori regardless, because they're not They're very smart at their age. The Konoha 11 characters had the potential to be some of the best written characters in all of Shonen, and 90% weren't wasted. Some of the Akatsuki members needed better consolutions than death. Talk no Jutsu was a mistake. The longer the series went on, also the Tento/Okatsuki stuff should have never happened. Yeah, the Okatsuki shit should have never happened. I never hated Kaguya. I think she would work very well as a movie villain, and that is it. No Jigen, no Okatsuki, no Kara, just end it with Kaguya at a movie villain, and that would have been a wrap. All the side characters, like, I got a lot about these in my community tab. We can all agree that the side characters are, they were very loved, they were written with so much potential, they were very relatable, like I said, and Shippuden just didn't give them the justice that they deserved. And these side characters, like, it's not about getting them fights, it's about showing the potential of being emotional invested with a character growing, because when it came to part 1 Naruto, you were interested in them, you cared about them, you wanted them to succeed from whatever journey they were wanting to go on. So it's more than just getting those classic shonen battle fights. It's about caring for a character to continue their character arc. And their philosophies from part 1 just ended there. Hinata with her story, Shino didn't really even get a story. Ino got justice in the war arc, but she could have been written a lot better in the Hida and Kakuzu arc, definitely. Kaguya and the Okatsuki clan, we've talked about that many times on my channel. The aliens were a big mistake. I mean, they're a cool concept, they're an interesting concept, but they were put in the wrong universe. Like, take the Okatsuki clan and put them into another shonen series. That's just my opinion. Like, they're a cool concept, but it doesn't work in the Naruto universe. Just take the material and put it somewhere else, please. Talk no Jutsu is one of the best parts of Naruto. It directly plays into the main theme of this series, the cycle of hatred. You can't end the cycle through violence, as will lead to more violence. So the thing is that Talk no Jutsu worked with moments. It was good with Zabuza, it was good with Gaara. Nagato and Naruto, in my opinion, was never really Talk no Jutsu'd. Like, you know, the whole conversation was not a Talk no Jutsu thing. Like, if you really think about it, Nagato, like, it was more than just being talked down. Nagato just, he lost himself, you know, and Naruto helped him realize who he was before he went on that road of peace and sharing the same pain to the whole world. See, it was more than just being Talk no Jutsu. It was more of Nagato realizing that he fucked up. Naruto was trying to bring him back to his senses, and Naruto told him, if I would have just given up, just because things are getting difficult, then I'll never succeed. And that's what Nagato did. He kind of just, well, no, he didn't kinda, he did give up on the world. That's why he wanted to change it. Naruto was like, you know what? Naruto was basically telling Nagato, yeah, life sucks, kid, but you just gotta suck it up and move forward, because, like, just like how it was Kakashi, he didn't give in to the darkness of life. He could have just been like Obito, but something in Kakashi kept letting him move forward, keep improving. Same thing with Naruto. Nagato was like an evil Naruto. He went to the dark side. Naruto kept moving forward. And I think Talk no Jutsu is, I feel like it gets too much hate, because I feel like the only part where it was not needed was Obito. Talk no Jutsu with Obito was completely forced and just bad writing, in my opinion. It just did not work with Obito, and I hate Obito's redemption arc. He just did not need to be redeemed. This guy made his own mistakes that had nothing to do with Madara's plan at all. And Obito did some shitty shit, and you can't just live and forget about that, you know? You just gotta accept that he was just a bad person for, like, a while. And Talk no Jutsu with Obito, it just from a story point of view, it felt forced, because Obito is supposed to be, like, 100% an evil version of Naruto, but that doesn't mean you should keep talking him down. He chose his path, he chose what he believed in, he fucked up a lot, and that should have been it. He should have been killed by Madara, Minato, or Kakashi, but being killed by Kaguya, being Talk no Jutsu by Naruto, which was forced, like I mentioned, in my opinion. I had issues with Obito after the mask came off, and like everyone else did. Like I said, I think it was more than just being Talk no Jutsu by Nagato. I feel like it was more of a personal connection, a person realizing that they messed up and they need to redeem themselves, of trying to admit that, you know, like, war and hatred will change a person, and darkness will consume you at some point. And Nagato kind of just, you know, like, he didn't really express how he personally felt, but I feel like Nagato did have guilt and regret of what he did. And he just wanted to leave. Like, he was just done. And yeah, that's just my take on Talk no Jutsu. I feel like the only problem I really have with it would be with Obito, regardless, and that is it. It worked on Gara, it worked on Zabuza just fine. Obviously, Madara couldn't have one because that wouldn't make sense, because just you can't talk no jutsu Madara at all. But yeah, I understand the hate with talk no jutsu. It's a love or hate thing. People hate it, people like it. The only thing that I don't like about it is Obito, but besides that, I just never really had a problem with it. People say that Naruto Shippuden is about Naruto fighting Sasuke to return the village, which is not true. No, it's, I mean, if you're just talking about from Naruto's story, then yeah, sort of. But the reason why I like Naruto so much is because Kishimoto told more than one story at a time with all of its characters. Well, mostly the ones that mattered. Like I still believe Hitachi is better written than Sasuke. Um, I think Madara is better written than Obito. I think Kakashi is better written than Shikamaru to an extent. Like comparing side characters with other side characters and side characters with main characters, I truly do believe side characters can be better written than main characters. Like I like Pain and Shippuden way more than I did with Naruto in Shippuden. Like I don't like how they treated Naruto and Shippuden. I feel like he was a much smarter character and he shouldn't have been this classic shonen dumb main character. I feel like Naruto grew and he was past that, and they turned him back to the dumbass into the war arc because Naruto was so mature in the pain arc, but during the war, like no, we're gonna go right back to the classic dumbass main character because that's what we need. That's the thing I don't like about Naruto, how he was treated in Shippuden. It's like they didn't know what to do with him, make him dumb or make him smart. Naruto was so mature and so smart during the pain arc, and I wanted more of that in Shippuden, but no, he just became the classic dumbass again after the pain arc, and it was really hard to take it seriously. Like this is the same guy that defeated Pain when he's not having this mature attitude anymore. And I don't know. I mean, I'm probably the only one who thinks that, but I feel like Naruto's maturity should have stayed very mature throughout the whole Shippuden and not the classic dumbass, because I feel like Naruto at 13 being dumb made sense, but as he got older, I feel like he was a lot smarter than most people give him credit for, and I just didn't like how they treated him in Shippuden. So as a whole, I would say that I like Pain a lot more than I did with Teenage Naruto. I'm just being real. And Heavy Sasuke. I like Heavy Sasuke more than Teenager Naruto. Again, that's just my opinion. I noticed that Naruto was winning a lot of his battles in the OG series in pretty stupid ways, and he kept standing back up like 3 times, or in Neji's case, one hit on his opponent and somehow he won. Plus, I also think that Naruto was learning some of his abilities a little too quickly. For an example, he couldn't do a normal academy clone for years, but then mastered the Shadow Clone Jutsu less than a night. Okay, the problem, I've always had mixed feelings about Neji versus Naruto, because the thing is that if Neji won, he doesn't develop and he doesn't mature. It was more than the scroll that Neji was received about the truth of his father. Neji also grew because he lost. So that's my problem. If you let Naruto not win, and if Neji wins, then he kind of loses that development and that wake up call that Naruto was trying to give to him. And I do believe Naruto at the same time did need to lose, because for a better story, it would have made more sense if Naruto did lose, because Neji was smarter, more intelligent, just fucking skilled at everything. And I love Naruto. I would have loved for him to win against Neji, which he did in reality. But what should have happened, I think Neji should have won. Like, just Naruto had no chance against him. Like, realistically, like, it was unfair. And the reason why he was able to keep getting up all the time is because he has Uzumaki chakra from his mother that's able to give, strong chakra reserves, or whatever the fuck she was talking about with him, that her clan has special chakra and energy, and Naruto is just able to keep getting up from all of Neji's attacks. So then Neji loses by one punch, which I completely understand the hate towards that fight. But I feel like Naruto and Neji is totally a mixed bag as a whole, and it's always going to be a mixed bag with different opinions and thoughts. So that's my opinion. You're not going to win a perfect opinion with that fight. That fight has been criticized and hated for a lot of reasons, and it's still going to be hated and criticized for more reasons down the road. Some side characters destined not to be that strong, like Shino. At a certain point, the bugs ain't gonna do shit. Like, imagine if this was forcing on another Jonin and they just fire style his bugs and pretty much useless at a certain point, which I don't know much to say about that, because I don't know much about Shino's fighting tactics, because it wasn't really truly like shown Like Shino won all of his fights, sure, but when it comes to fire, like yeah, I can totally see his bugs like dying from fire. Like they're not that strong. But I can understand the point you were saying. Plot holes, fillers, and flashbacks. Yeah, I agree. The plot holes are aggravating. There are some plot holes that just cannot be fucking explained at all. Fillers and flashbacks. Studio Pierrot really milked the series for that one. I don't know how to defend that. Studio Pierrot just wanted to milk Naruto as much as they could. Even in the DVD sales, you're gonna get like 3 episodes of canon, and the rest would be filler, and then in a box set. And it's just they were really milking Naruto, and it's definitely a problem. Trust me. Biju mode is the worst transformation mode ever, and I hate Hinata. So, the Tail Beast mode, I think you're talking about the golden yellow one. I don't like KCM1. I felt like he was given way too much fucking power, and it was very random. He was training with Killer Bee to stack blocks, and he could barely do that, and all of a sudden he breaks out with Killer Bee with all this power, comes to the war arc, and he's just overpowered and just killing so many white Zutsus, and it's ridiculous. And it was just like, where was that in the training? It just came out of nowhere. Like, there was no screen time of him learning this. It happened off screen, which kind of seemed like an ass pull, like mini Russian Shuriken, the hands grabbing out and then making a bigger Rasengan and crushing them all together. Naruto and KCM1 is just ridiculous of the way they introduced him and that power, and I never liked it. KCM2, I like KCM2 a lot because in my opinion it was fair. It was Kurama and Naruto together working side by side as friends with that same power, and it felt more relaxing and it didn't feel as forced, if that made sense. But I never liked KCM1 anyways, and they never really explained why it was Naruto's form different from all the others. That was never fucking explained, and I don't think it's ever going to be fucking explained. But it was if you really think about it, it was kind of random, but it's whatever. He's the shonen main character, and that's just what they did to him, and I don't agree with that because Naruto wasn't always such a shonen relying on power scaling to be good, and they did, and it wasn't received well. Sai is overrated in my opinion. He had a decent character arc in the second Sasuke retrieval mission, but after that he never did anything noteworthy, nor did the progress in any meaningful way, at least what I know. To me, he is just boring attempt of a Sasuke replacement, one of the Naruto's boring and almost most wasted characters. I like Sai to an extent, but he's nowhere near to be one of the classic well-written Naruto characters. Like, I wouldn't say, I don't know if he's even overrated. Like, I don't see anyone ever talking about Sai. Like, he was a good character for the bridge arc, and even the bridge arc itself wasn't that good. And they just didn't know what to do with Sai after that, or Kishimoto didn't know what to do with Sai. And I don't know, like, I like Sai to an extent, like I mentioned, but he's not a well-written, extreme well-written character. He was just good with a personal, very human story about holding the emotions in and never showing it, and always faking a smile. That was some deep shit, but after that, he just became there. So that's my opinion about Sai. Hinata really isn't that great of a character. People love her a lot. Yes, she is loyal to Naruto and treated him with respect from the beginning, and yes, that is cool, and I also think that she is fine. However, people seem to forget that her character doesn't have anything else aside from her crush on Naruto. There was potential for her to have a really good arc, but turning from shy to self-confident over time and eventually prove her worth to her family by having a rematch with Hinabi over the... Don't worry, dude, I read the rest. So, Hinata, I wish she just fucking died at the pain arc. I'll be honest. And this has nothing to do with my hatred with Boruto, because I know without Hinata, Boruto wouldn't happen. But I'm just saying, like, as a whole, I think Hinata should have died. Like, I liked the way how she was being tortured and then slammed to the ground and then being pinned. That would have been such a powerful death, and it didn't happen. And even if she did die, she would have been brought back by Nagato. And just the pain arc has a really weird ending, but I really wish Hinata would have died there because she didn't really do anything after that. Like, there was no more character, and I think Neji was right about her, about Destiny, on her version of Destiny. She didn't really progress. She was a weak character. She tried to accomplish stuff that Neji could have already do at 13 years old when she was only 17 during the war, which was making her look bad. But I like Hinata to an extent. I love her character, but for story, she should have fucking died. and there was no point of, like, Kishimoto was able to accomplish a lot, so I don't understand why he couldn't write Neji alive with Naruto and Hinata. That was kind of BS. Like, I can't really excuse that on Kishimoto. Like, I defend him for the right reasons, but there are some things about Kishimoto's writing where I can't defend. So don't worry. So yeah, I can't really defend the Neji shit. Like, I'm sorry, but I can't. That was poorly written storytelling. I guess this sums it up for this round of the criticism, honest opinions of Naruto. I want to do more of these, and let me know what you think about this video. Some of the longer ones I skipped because I didn't want to read all that, and I didn't want to go into more deeper detail about it because I like shorter ones that just give me a shorter amount of opinions and I'm able to answer. The longer ones are more of a challenge to really think about. So try giving me shorter ones, and that would be it for this episode. Bye.